set up. But for me, Sunday is way worse than a Friday, to be honest. All right. Okay, now let's spin Denard. Wait, am I still host? I don't think so. You're muted, Gustavo. Okay. Spotlight for everyone. There we go. Gustavo, were you saying something? Cause saw your mouth moving, but you're muted. Never mind. Okay. All right. So we can get started with today's talk. So, Denard, please introduce yourself and feel free to talk about your topic.
Hello, guys. Good afternoon. My name is Denard. I'm a senior developer. I've been working with developer development and with Java for about 20 years, plus 20 years. And considering the topics that we like to talk about in our meetings, I found it very important to convey to you some of my experiences related to interviewing process, what I've been through, what I've been seeing, what I've been studying. And of course, let me be clear, this is not actually a state of the truth about what happens on an interview process and how you must prepare. It's just, I'm just conveying what I've been seeing, what is my experiences are, and what I've been taking from other specialists and other people that have been through this process. And I'd like to share with you. Don't take it for granted, of course, but it's my experience, and I believe it can contribute in some degree of what you're going through. I believe all of us here are pursuing some degree of some sort of a career abroad, and I believe what I have to show you may help you in this journey. Um, can you allow me to share the screen, Ansel? All right. So I will show you just some bullet points about what I've been talking about, and feel free to interrupt me anytime you want. Maybe you can raise your hand, and I'll take the questions. And we can save some about 10 minutes at the end for another questions and some debate. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Wow. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the interview process. In a nutshell, what can we say, or what can I say about this? It's sort of a different thing if you compare with the Brazilian experience. The way we hire here in Brazil can be summed up to an interview process, an interview with the HR people, where they can ask you for your background, what you've been doing, and they will verify if you are a fit for that position that you are being considered. And then you may talk to the technical guys where you have some debate about situations. They will ask you some questions, some technical questions. And then that's it. Basically, what we Brazilians do is Basically, something like that, with some variations, but it's something like that. The interview process overseas are sort of a different thing. They do actually the HR interview, and considering that you are not native speakers, they use this stage to validate your English. So it's not just to consider if you are a fit to the position. They are also verifying that your English is, you have a reasonable English that you can communicate. And then if you get approved, you can go to the next stages. And here is where, and it comes a little bit, actually a lot of, a great deal of difference compared with the Brazilian experience. They actually have some technical tests that can assume several forms. You can also have the debate, as we do here in Brazil. You can do tests, as we've been seeing in our classes, with all kinds of platforms, being the most famous, I guess. It's LeetCode, but you have several different ones. You can have LeetCode, you can have Codify, Qualified IO, and so on and so forth. Yes, Daniel.
Hello everyone. So Denard, you told that we had a debate as well in Portuguese and in English. Could you
Yes.
list for us some difference from this debate, or is it like the same as in Portuguese?
It's pretty much the same. They present you with, they do some very basic questions about the stack that you're applying to. Maybe if you're Java, they will ask you about how do you do this or that on Java? How do you provide a solution to a specific scenario? They can go all the way down to complex scenarios, and where you are answering to an architect, a tech lead, or a tech leader, or something with with a higher position on the company. It's pretty much the same. I would say that the challenge for us here is to formulate the solutions in another language. That's why we're here. We are here studying this. But about the debate, it's pretty much the same. I don't see it being different from what we've been experienced here. But it's not common in Brazil that we do tests like leaked code. It's not common. I've seen them here, but it's not common. Okay.
Okay,
So
thanks for answering.
not at all. And there is another item that's very important that we usually don't see here in Brazil, is that you may have to build a project, an entire project. They will present you with some situation, with some problem, and they will provide you with all the requirements, and then you must deliver a project, a functional project, by the end of a week, by the end of a month. I've even seen some companies paying for you to build a project just in the interviewing stage. You're not actually working, but sometimes I've seen some companies doing this. They can provide you with a project and you can do it. But if it's very complex and long lasting, and a project that takes too much time, they can also provide you with some financial compensation for the time that you spend doing the project. And that's it. I believe those are the main differences from the process that we are used to see here in Brazil. And also, there's also actually, there's another difference that I've been seeing, not in many companies, but some interviewing process, some interviewing process in some companies. You can also At the end of the process, you may also have to talk with the CEO or the owner, or some guy that holds a high position at the company, in order to do the final arrangements. And this guy, this high profile guy, maybe he's in this stage, maybe he's trying to uh, give his okay or her okay for you to get into the company. I've seen this happening before. Uh, well, in all of these stages, what I would say about this, and truth be told, if I could sum up all these topics that we're talking about in one word, I would say prepare. Prepare yourself and rehearse a lot. Try to anticipate what you will be asked to answer, and work beforehand your answer. Find your words. Try to construct a good answer and memorize it. But we will talk in more detail about this in a later in a later stage of our presentation here. For now, would you have some questions? Some of you, would you have some questions? Okay, so let's move forward. I would urge you to consider this whole thing as a selling process. You must adhere to the idea that you are a product and you are selling yourself. You must consider this a selling process. Let's do a quick analogy. If you go to a company that sells cars, you have the salesperson there trying to convince you that their product is the most beautiful, is the faster, has several features that will make you happy, and that product will satisfy the needs that you have. This is some this I believe that you must have the same view, the same approach to the interviewing process. You must sell yourself as a product, as a quality product, and not considering that you are a worker, that you are just selling some knowledge. No, you must consider this as a selling process, and you are the product. So you must present yourself in the best light possible. Going through some bullet points here, I would say that the first thing that you would do is to know everything that you can about the company. Spend some time and some effort knowing what the company do, what's their position in the market, what attracts you to that company, because you will be asked about this, and showing some knowledge about this about the company, it's a positive feature that you can present, and you can show you that you did your homework, and they will be pleased about this. On the side of preparation, I would say that it's very important that you anticipate the question that will be asked, build your answers, and memorize them. Try to rehearse them. Try to make them sound natural. But to make them sound natural for us that are not native speakers, it's important that you build them on your own and memorize them. You must memorize to make them sound the most natural, the most possibly natural. Since it's a selling process, it's the best approach that you could have here is to show your skills, your soft skills, your hard skills in the most possible favorable light. It's important that you show enthusiasm and confidence that you are the guy that they are looking for. And you can do this if you keep saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know that, and maybe I'm not will perform in this scenario." Maybe no, you can't say that. You must not use those kind of approaches. You can't say, "I'm sorry." If you don't show confidence, even if you don't know the answer, you are demeaning yourself, and that's not convey a good message. When talking about, we have two questions. Let me make a pause. I believe Gabriel raised his hand first. Go ahead, Gabriel.
Yeah, I don't know if we talk more about technical interview, but I have a question about this topic.
Okay.
When I start I took a shortcut to enter in market faster. So I didn't make a graduation. I didn't a graduation because I need to take these shortcuts to enter in market faster. And I feel that exists a difference between Brazilian market and international companies. Like here we focus more in to solve problems, real problems, like uh, 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 a lot of interviews that I made, the interviewer want that I solve a real problem, like you need to create a application to for product control or something like that. And the international interviews that I made or that I saw, they focus more in solve academic problems, like here are the binary tree and so how can we prepare for this technical interview? Because I feel that difference.
Well, I would say that we do what we must do. If you think back when you were, I don't know, studying for the university or doing some kind of test, or even if you apply for some certification, it's not wrong to say that if you consider the whole scope of those kind of tests that you took for with some purpose, it's not wrong to say that what you actually use on a daily basis on real problems on your, I don't know, maybe you have 20 years ahead of you to work with IT. All of this scope that you've been through, that you've been studying, and that you've been tested on, and when doing those kind of tests, would you say that we actually use about I don't know 30% of all this scope? When I did my test to get into the university, I didn't I studied a lot, lots of things, and I at university I didn't use, I don't know, 30% of them. And as well, when I left university, what I learned from university, what I use in the real world is about 30%. So you are absolutely right when you say this, when you say that we are being tested on those technical tests on things that we do not use on a daily basis, on a real world problem. Maybe one thing, maybe another, but we actually do not use the whole scope of the things that we're tested to. But Nonetheless, that's the way that things are done in technical tests. We can't fight that. So if that's that's something that we have to deal with, the only answer I can think for your question is you have to study those things just for the test. And that's why we've been doing these lead code sessions here. Don't expect to face only real problems or real or problems that are applied in reality on your daily basis. That's the reality for this. So I believe the more proper answer that I can come up with is there is no silver bullet here. You must study these things on those platforms. They also provide you with some studying environments, and let's do it.
Yeah, it's because this difference that I made that I'm doing my graduation now. But I feel this difference is very visible
Yes.
to us.
Yes, I don't have a silver bullet. It must be it's something that we must deal with. And once you get in the company, you won't see them ever again unless you are preparing for another job. Okay, go Daniel.
So, coming back to the being confident on an interview, you told us before that you need to be confident even when you are answering a question that you don't know the answer. How to do that? How to be confident answering a question that you don't know the answer?
In a nutshell, practice. Maybe actually there is another answer to that. You can exercise some emotional control. But that's I don't know, maybe it's a different field. Consider what we've been studying here. But seriously, the confidence will come once you get more and more prepared. That's why I'm saying that you must, when I was talking about, sorry, I believe it's here. Oh, we were, sorry, where is it? It's here. When I was saying that we must memorize the answers, it's sort of a solution to the anxiety problem. If you're nervous, if you're anxious, you won't be able to think straight. You won't be able to consider the question thoroughly. You don't even you stop even understanding English if you're nervous or or anxious. So what I'm saying when I talk about memorizing things, it's exactly that. You don't have to build them up at the moment they are presented to you. Since you are not sure that you should say this or that you should present some of your skills in this way or in that way, you become nervous, you become anxious, and your judgment is completely clouded. So one of the things that I'm bringing to you guys is exactly this practice. Memorize them, think about them beforehand, and memorize them. And it goes also not only for the English answer to those questions; it goes for the problems as well. We'll see a little ahead that we when you are presented with a specific problem, if you rehearsed before, if you trained something, even if it's something similar before, you can present at some degree, you can present some solution to that problem. And that's why, and in answering to your question, if you prepare well enough, you will see that maybe if you don't know the right answer, the exact answer, you can present a way of thinking. And and that's exactly what those guys that are interviewing us are seeking. They are seeking our way of thinking. It's not absolutely necessary that you nail the question, that you answer the question, give the exact answer or the right answer that those guys are looking for. They are trying to know you. They are trying to see if you are a good fit. And even if you, let's say that you don't absolutely know whatsoever what the answer is. Well, the only possible answer to this is, sorry, I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to that. That's, but I'm betting that most of us won't go through this a lot of times. Maybe you don't have the clue, the slightest clue about what's the answer one or two times. And even so, if that happens, maybe you still got the position. Maybe someone more prepared show up and take your position. Okay, no problem. Next, okay. But that's a way of preparing, a way of bringing the answers to your head beforehand, and in some degree it will diminish your anxiety and it will diminish your anxiety, and you will be able to answer more clearly.
Yeah, it really makes sense. I would also add that when you really don't know the answer, you can demonstrate some interesting about
Sure.
studying what they told you. Like, oh, I already saw this before, but I didn't have enough time to study it, but it really seems interesting. I would love to study more about it, because if they asking you certainly knowledge, probably you will need to use in their company. So if you don't know, it's okay, but showing them some interest would be a lot for them.
Yes, it's a thing that we must do concerning all the things that we're talking about here. If you see the third bullet point, I say always present yourself in the most possible favorable light. It means that you can give up, you can quit. You must say, I don't know, but I am eager learner. I am an enthusiastic learner. I will learn this damn thing in 1 hour. You must present yourself in the best way you can. That's exactly what you're saying. You can always say, if you don't know, you say you don't know. But I'm eager to learn about this stuff. That's one possible answer. That is a good answer, actually. Okay, going forward. Always, when you're describing your achievements, your skills, always try to use numbers. If you work on a project that you improved the profit of the company, or if you drop it down the number of bugs about 30%, if you improve the profit of the company in 25%, if you drop it down the complaints in about 15%, the performance went from 30% to 70%, you must put out those numbers, and they are very good in an interview. And about your weaknesses, and it's kind of similar about what Daniel has said. It's something that is very important. You must again always present yourself in the most favorable light. Use what we use what we call tentative language. I will explain more about this in a moment, but basically tentative language is when you soften the speech in order to present some of your weaknesses in a more favorable light. You can say, oh, I don't know that. You can say, oh, I'm not sure. I know what you're talking about. You soften the speech in order to present your weaknesses in a more favorable light. Eventually, those questions will come up. What do you consider is your greatest weakness? You have to talk about this, but you present it in a more favorable light using tentative language. I will explain more of this in a moment. And actually, you try to describe the steps you are taking now to overcome those weaknesses. If you present somewhere, I'm distracted, but I'm working on it. I've been doing some training. I've been improving myself on this. You can say anything you want, but you must show that you are working on overcome those weaknesses. And you must describe, of course, what you have learned from them. If if you have a non-traditional background, I don't know, maybe you're a single father and you have to attend university at night shifts and work on the day. You could say that I'm a single father. I work all day and study at night, and that make me learn about time management. You can describe what you got from those experiences and what you are learning from your weaknesses. Talking a little bit about, I'll give you some examples about what is tentative language is. Let's say you have this is just an example. Lectures run for 50 minutes and you are presented using PowerPoint slides. You could say that in a more tentative way. Lectures often run for 15 minutes and may be presented using PowerPoint slides. You see the difference? You're not being so deterministic about this. You say lectures run for 50 minutes. Lectures may run for 51 minutes, may run for 49 minutes. You're not sure about this. A way of softening this in being more not so final about your statement would be to say that lectures often run for 50 minutes and may be presented in using PowerPoint slides. Here another example. A drop in production will result from inexperienced staff, but will not happen if training is provided. How can we soften this? How can we make this more not so deterministic? A drop in production may result from inexperienced staff, but is unlikely to happen if training is provided. You can use the tentative language to present your weakness in this way. And here are some examples for our realm here. Well, I have a tendency to overwork. So for me, maintaining a work-life balance is a challenge and a priority, both for my personal sake and for my long-term performance. And that's the one we were joking about a couple of weeks ago. I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist. Remember that we were talking? When someone asks you for your weaknesses, I said that you can't say that your weakness is being a perfectionist. That's the most known answer for that question. I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist. I tend to be. So sometimes I get sort of hung up on the details of things. You see that in this way you soften your weakness and present it in a more favorable light? Okay. Any questions at this point? No? Yeah. Jason. No, Gustavo.
Yeah, I think this is a good point because For the interviewers that I experienced before. Oh, sorry for that because I was just having some two screens here. Just a second. Yeah, now we're good. Because based on some experiences that I had between some interviews, I see that most of them, when they ask for you, how is your work-life balance? They want to know what you do on your spare time, for example, and see if you are able to manage your time. Because let's say that you have a bigger task, or maybe you have a giant deliverable, and you need to balance between your responsibility, right? Because they want to be more flexible in case that you have to attend some family responsibilities and other stuff. So I think it's a great point to raise, because for the interviews that I made, most of them have those kind of questions, like how is your work-life balance, and you need to explain what you like to do on your spare time, what do you use to search for improve as a software engineer as well, like what is the sources that you search. Yeah, just reinforcing this point.
Yeah. They will not drop you for your weaknesses. They will consider you seriously if you show that you are tackling them, that you are working on solve those issues, or if you are a balanced guy, if you were able to, even having that weakness, you are able to perform.
Right. Because, for example, I think one of the interviews that I made, I think it was for a Canadian startup, and they asked me, in case that I have some family urgencies, how can I balance to deliver a task on time and attend to those kind of situations. My
Uh-huh.
answer was, if I had a bigger problem with my family goes first, because family first on each case. They just they just raise this concern for me, because they are looking for how can I say focused guy. When I
Yeah,
saw
yeah, yeah.
that, for me it was weird, but it's not a general thing.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something that I forgot to add to the presentation. The profile of the companies that we are applying to, they have a pretty different culture that we have here in Brazil. Here in Brazil, we work on the weekends, we work extra hours. That's pretty common. That's not the reality abroad. The
Exactly.
companies abroad, they are really concerned about our mental health, and they actually demand those kind of things from us. And if you show yourself as a overworked guy, if you show yourself that you work all the weekend, you don't have any hobbies, they don't want you. They don't want something like that, actually. So it's actually more important if you show yourself as a balanced guy, not a overworked guy. That's something that we have in Brazil, but outside Brazil, it's not like that. Okay, let me go. Let me give this a little rush because we're running out of time. So I don't know if you guys noted, but I put the numbers in a different order because I was thinking about saying explaining a different things first and then went through the interview process. But I thought I would start actually with the interview process and then get down to the details. And one detail that it's important on our preparation for those interview for those interview process is the English, that what we are doing here. And I've just provided some bullet points here that's important for us to consider. No need to be perfect. The English must be clear, but no need to be perfect. You must drop this thing of I must be fluent, I must, in order to be considered for a position. No, you just don't. And even the accent is not actually considered. If you see Canada, maybe Gustavo can say this about Canada. Canada is a country that has several guys from different countries. The different accents are a must. How can we possibly consider that they don't want some guy with an accent? So in that case, don't worry about the accent. And I just like to point it out about the Indians and the Chinese. For God's sake, does someone understand what those guys say? And they are working. They are working remotely. They are working on the companies in Canada, United States, Europe. It really shouldn't be a matter. You must not consider this as one. On your preparation, focus on IT English. Don't spend so much time learning English about how to ask for food or how to find a place or how to drive or how, don't consider this and at this stage of your preparation. Focus on IT for English, IT for work, IT for interview. Be focused on the scope that you're considered on when you're studying English. And of course, your priority must be speaking. It's impossible to realize that we won't study the other pillars, that is listening and writing. But the most important of those three is speaking. You must be prepared to speak clearly and convey your message. That's it. With the time, you will get fluent, and don't worry about that. And use whatever resources you suits you best. If you're using flashcards, if you're talking, if you're writing, if you are watching TV shows, or I don't know, use everything that suits you best, but focus on speaking. Something that's very important in this preparation is to improve your image. Since we consider this a selling process, you are a salesperson, you are selling a product, so you must present this product, that's you, in the most favorable way. So you must translate your CV to English. If you're applying to some Spanish country, you must translate it to Spanish or German or Mandarin. I don't know if it's the case. Get right to the point. It's important that your LinkedIn, your CV gets right to the point. Don't write extensive paragraphs explaining everything that you just said. LinkedIn is like Google. It uses keywords to find the most suitable positions for you. And the recruiters are also looking for keywords. For example, you consider that a recruiter can analyze 100 CVs, 100 LinkedIn profiles a day. You really think that they will read everything that you wrote? You really think that they will read everything? They won't. They will land your eyes on your resume and will look for keywords. And if you write everything that you can possibly write, they will pass you and go to the next one. So it's important that your CV is very straightforward, get right to the point, use the least wording that you can, and that's it. Cultivate your network. It's important that you follow recruiters, ask for recommendations, reach out to your colleagues and ask for recommendations. The guys that you have been working in the past, there's no problem with that. You can exchange recommendations. You can ask them for write a recommendation for you, and you can write a recommendation. You exchange recommendations, no problem. That's an important thing to make your profile work in your favor. And I pointed out here some sites that you can look for positions. Maybe you already know all of them, but I consider these three the best ones. Any questions? We have, I believe, 2 more items to cover. Okay, Leonardo.
Recently, I was participate in two job interviews in English, but it's too little when I comparing to my applies, because I apply to many vacancies every day. Uh, it's normal or not, and the best way to find the vacancies is find in platforms or improve your LinkedIn to let me see, to be found.
The second one. The best of all strategies, is for you to improve your LinkedIn or even your CV, actually, because at some point your CV goes around the world and it's better if it's well constructed. But the best strategy is for you to improve your LinkedIn profile in order to be found. So if you do some of the things that I just suggested here and some more, I believe there's some other strategies, you will notice that the LinkedIn algorithm will start to present the recruiters with your profile, and then you will get more contacts. And this thing will go on and on. So the best strategy is that I said. The second best strategy is to, of course, look for positions. And these three are good ways to start. LinkedIn itself, it's a good place, but I would say that these three are the best.
Okay.
Daniel.
Just in adding to your answer, I think the best way to get a job is networking.
Yes.
As you get a recommendation, it's your most you will have the most percentage over any candidates. So doing a good network will be the first step. And LinkedIn helps a lot. I can say that because I receive a lot of messages on LinkedIn from recruiters, but that's not everything. Like I keep receiving interview invites at least for the last 6 months, and I didn't get any job yet. And I'm thinking about starting to apply in some websites because I am just waiting for the recruiters reach me, but I can reach some jobs too. We can do our search and seek for some jobs that match our profiles. What I got recently is a lot of interviews that the recruiter think I have the ability of some technologies, but I don't have because it's just the recruiter looking to my profile. He doesn't have enough knowledge to say that I understand each technology that the job requires. And when you got to the technical interview, it sucks because they keep asking you some technologies that you don't have yet, don't have learned yet. So just a tip, you can have a LinkedIn. That's a really nice way to get a job, but keep searching on others' websites.
Absolutely right. I would just add that actually there's no silver bullet. The solution actually is for you to make a mark on LinkedIn and search for jobs on those sites, and even there are several more sites that you can find. And there's one point that I would like to add. There's some special jobs that are not even published. As Daniel said, if you have your network well constructed, well feeded, what will happen? At some point, we'll become famous, we'll become specialized, and you will start to notice that people come to you, and at that point, we will have access to positions that are not even public. The recruiters don't publicize about the position. It's only for the best of the best, and those guys don't even the recruiters, I mean, don't even make this public. It's only on your network. Do you know someone that specializes on this or that? Oh, I know. Talk to this guy. Those positions pay one of the best wages that I've seen, and they are not public. But it's at some point of their journey, you'll find them. What you could do at this moment is to improve your LinkedIn, improve your CV, make your image. What we are talking about is about your outward exposition, how the world sees you, and you must prepare for this. And what I've been talking about, LinkedIn, CV, etc. It also boils down to the fact that you must present yourself as a product that you're trying to sell, and someone is trying to buy, of course. Gabriel.
Adding another comment about this, I think it's very important to create or to maintain our contacts or network, because we're living a recession moment, and we need there are many ex-fangs in the market right now, and those guys are competitor now, and we need we need to highlight our skills,
Yes.
our skills.
There's one thing that I would like to add to your speech is that when we are applying here to Brazil, maybe we have, I don't know, 10 contenders, 5 contenders. We're competing with a limited number of guys. But when we're applying abroad, you're competing with, I don't know, 2,000.
Yeah.
There's something that we must consider. And in order to achieve the attention and the resolve of your recruiter and the companies, you must, again, present your product, in the most favorable light. You must sell your product. You must sell your skills. You must sell your strengths. You must weaken your weaknesses. And in order to get approved on some interviewing process. And that's an important thing to do, and to practice and to repeat and to repeat. It's not uncommon for you to go through 20 interviews without being approved in any of them. But at some point, if you keep trying and paying the right attention to those bullet points that I've brought you here, at some point you will get the job that you want. I only would like to ask something from Ansel. How we are on time? We reached 1 hour. Would you have some time? I just have two more topics to show. They're not very long. I don't know what you
mean,
think.
it's already 1 p.m. For me, it will be totally fine for you to keep going.
What do you guys think?
Or if you think you need some extra time, we can keep this chat
I
for
think
the next time too. It's up to you.
about considering the questions that might have, I think about 10 minutes tops.
Okay. However you want to coordinate. If you want to take those last moments to just answer everyone's questions and then you can keep the talk going for another time, you could feel free to do so.
Okay, no, let's do this. I will show the last 2 topics. It's pretty fast here, and we can take questions, okay?
All right.
So this doesn't come as a surprise. You must improve yourself. You must study, you must do tests. But I'd like to point out some important things that could improve your imagery on the outward world. You must do something like pursuing on a MVP. Several technologies have this MVP program. Are you familiar with this? For example, Microsoft has the MVP, most valuable programmer. When you achieve a point that you contribute to the community, when you became somewhat famous, when you have some achievements on the platform as a contributor, you can be awarded with the MVP award. And that's something that says something about you. And it's important to pursue something like this. Try to make yourself famous. Not famous in a celebrity famous, but famous as a person who is known on the community. Attend to events, and if possible, do some presentations about your field. As a speaker, if possible, if you could arrange with friends, with your company to do some presentations about some topic, it's important that kind of thing shines on the eyes of the recruiters. They see that you are a guy that knows everything. And let's be honest, even if you don't know that much, the fact that you are on the stand talking about something, it automatically gives you authority. So it's important to do something like this. Try to write a blog. It's important to put out your ideas and become known about them. Turn your side projects into real stuff. If you're doing something that's important, upload it on GitHub. I don't know if you know, but GitHub has some statistics about what you've been doing, and they show that you've been doing some pushes, you have been participating on some projects. If you can, everything that you can do, you can upload to GitHub, and it acts as a showcase of what you're doing. And again, it's positive for your sales process with the interviewers. And join tech forums and to contribute in order to become a known guy on your field. And just to wrap it up, pick your stack. What's important here, I believe all of us are already working on some stacks, Java, PHP, or Python, Node.js. But it's important that you give some thought about what you are working today and what you will be working in the future. Because I've seen that the greatest wages are for technologies that are less people available. So if you choose some platform that's niched, that's very specific, the wages are so much higher. So if you are actually, we're all looking for money at some point, but the greatest wages are for those technology niches that are short of in workforce. So it's important to give some thought about what you're doing now and what you're doing in the future. And I've choose some examples. They are not. This list can grow greater than this, but I give you some examples. For example, Salesforce, Adobe Enterprise Manager are technologies that are very niched. So they are more profitable as well. And some stacks that have been, when considered together, they are more profitable as well. For example, if you work with Java, I've seen many positions for Java programmers that ask for knowledge about AWS. So if you are a Java programmer and don't know about AWS, you have a disadvantage. And some techs are profitable by themselves. For me, for example, I am a Java programmer, but if I only present myself as a Java programmer, it won't be enough. If I present myself as a JavaScript programmer, maybe I am the best JavaScript programmer in the world. But if I only know JavaScript, I won't hardly I will get a position. So it's important to consider this. But there are some technologies that go by themselves. And I put, again, I used some examples here, but this list is not final. So point being, choose your stack very well and think about the future. What will happen to those technologies in order to pick the right and more stable or if not stable, something that's growing up steadily, like for example, Kotlin. Kotlin is being demanded, but it's not exactly one of the most demanded technologies, but it has a upward curve. So in the future, in the near future, Kotlin may be one of the most important languages. So it would be important to consider Kotlin, just as an example. So I will take some questions. Go ahead.
All right, just a comment I would make. Even you in LinkedIn, when recruiters invite us to interviews, and even you not feel prepared for interview, or you're happy in your work, in your job, I think if you don't respond or don't make the interview, is a chance you are missing to do network.
Sure.
What do you think about this? Because if even I'm happy on my current company, I can make the interview just to do the network with recruiter.
Sure. And even and maybe you are happy, but there's a chance for you to be happier. And even if you think about cultivating your network, if you are happy at your work and you have several recruiters searching for you and talking to you, and if you ignore them, uh, I don't think it's a wrong. I don't think it's a right thing to do. It's important that you, even in this situation, if you're happy and you're not thinking about moving on, it's important for you to grow your network because at some point in time you will need it. And the cultivating your network is not something that happens overnight. You must be talking to people. You must try to be as much as you can a people person. You must try to reach to your colleagues, talk to your recruiters, meet in person some recruiters for you to can make a bond in order for the future for you to maybe do some business together. And let's be clear, as I said, you are a product, and this product must be maintained, must the image of this product, you must work on this. And if you do, I'm happy. I'm not gonna talk to no one. And in the future, you need those guys, they won't help you. So I believe it's important, not even if for you to say, hello, guy, thanks for your consideration. I've been working on for some time on technology. I'm happy with it, but in the future, maybe we can talk if there's an opportunity, da da da. Maybe he offers you CLT and you don't want, you want PJ, contractor in that case, for that matter. And you can say, I'm PJ, I'm happy, or the other way around. No, I'm CLT, I'm happy. I don't want this PJ position. But it's important for you to nurture your network, to cultivate your network, because at some point it will be important. And if you are actively looking for a position, there is no other answer. You must. It's not you might. You must cultivate your network. It's very important.
Sometimes when I didn't pass in the selection process, some recruiters says ask to stay in touch with me, or even I didn't want the proposal. Some recruiters says sure they didn't they still stay in touch with me.
No problem, no problem. It costs you nothing, actually. And again, it's a product that you are selling, and it's a business. Even if you go through all the interview process and you get approved, you receive a proposition. Maybe the proposition is not what you want. And you can say, oh, sorry, it's not what I was thinking about, but maybe in the future. Okay, no problem with that. It's a business at some point. So it's important to nurture your network. Even if you do not get choose, if you do not get choose, if you get choose, but the proposition is not good, I don't see a scenario where you must shut down yourself to the world. I don't see it. Even if you're happy, even if you're working for two companies, nurture and maintain your network. One time, one day you need it.
All right, so we're towards at the very end. Would you like to wrap it up for 5 more minutes, Denard? Just for final considerations?
Well, what I would like to point out is what I've been saying again and again. Guys, it's a selling process. Treat it like, treat it the way it is. It's a selling process. You are a product. You must work your product. You must present it well. So all the things that I wrote here, at, in one way or another, take us to this statement. It's a selling process. So you must prepare yourself, you must sell yourself good. So that's what I would like to, that's the takeout that I would like to point out on this presentation. Consider this a selling proposition and try to become a selling person, a salesperson. Improve yourselves, your knowledge, the way you speak, the way you present yourself. Try to do this, considering that this is a it's a selling process. So that's the takeout that I would like to share with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Denard. It was a very thoughtful presentation, and congratulations, you did awesome. And some people are asking for you to share your slides. Would you like to do that?
Sure, no problem. How can I do this?
You can just create a PDF file and share on the Just Chatting channel, and I can also
Okay.
add to the meeting notes.
Okay.
All right. If you could stop sharing your screen so we can wrap it up with a picture. All right. Let's do it. All right. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right, everyone. The meeting link will be available. It is already available in the meeting notes, so you guys can access it anytime to go back to the slides and also see any of the questions that everybody asked. Denard, thank you so much for your time. It was awesome.
Thank you, guys.
And I'm looking forward to see you guys on Monday.
Thank you for the class, Denard. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thanks,
All right.
guys. Thanks, Denard.
Bye-bye.